This project was made possible by a grant from the Virginia and Alfred Harrell Foundation and all of SJV Water subscribers. Hello, this is Lois Henry. Welcome back to our continuing video series, Law of the River, examining how the Kern River works. Today we're looking at the upper river with the help of Watermaster Mark Mulkay. Watermaster is a cool title, but sort of a thankless job. The Watermaster acts as a liaison between the Army Corps of Engineers, which owns and operates the dam at Lake Isabella, and the various entities that own rights to Kern River water. A watermaster has to have an encyclopedic knowledge of the river's complicated rights structure, its history, and operations. But the watermaster doesn't interpret rights, set policy, nor settle disputes. It's more of a UN peacekeeper role, but without the blue helmet. Okay, let's head up the river with Watermaster Mark Mulkay.
I'm standing on the banks of the North Fork of the Kern River. We're approximately 2 miles north or upstream from Kernville. The North Fork is the largest of the two channels feeding into the Kern River. There's the North Fork here, there's the South Fork that comes in over by Onyx into the reservoir. These two channels meet together in Lake Isabella and then become the Kern River below. The North Fork is measured closer to Kernville, near the Kernville Bridge, as it enters the upper end of Isabella Reservoir. We use the measurement on the North Fork as a gauge as to what's going on in the reservoir. It's not all the water that comes into the reservoir, but it helps us with trends to know as inflows are increasing or decreasing. It helps us as we know the peak flows of the North Fork each year. We know when the snow melts begin, we know when they end by following the measurements on the North Fork of the Kern River. Behind me is Isabella Reservoir. The dam that you see is called the main dam here at Isabella. There's an additional dam a little bit further to my right called the auxiliary dam. But this structure behind me is where the water is controlled for outflow. The reservoir impounds water on the Kern River, both the North Fork and the South Fork, for use for irrigation and M&I uses downstream. The irrigation interests store water here in Isabella for spring runoff for summertime use. The city of Bakersfield also stores water for their use for the treatment plants in the Bakersfield area. The dam was originally built in the 1950s. Recently it has gone through a redesign and upgrade to protect against seismic activities in the area. It was raised and strengthened so that in the event of an earthquake, if this area were to receive a significant earthquake, the dam would settle, but the water would still not go over the top of it. Isabella Reservoir and Dam is operated and managed by the Corps of Engineers. They maintain daily flow records, communication through the Kern River Watermaster and the city of Bakersfield to control outflow of the reservoir and the river on a daily basis. The storage space in the reservoir is for flood control for a major portion of the winter season. It's also used through the summertime for storage for the irrigation districts in the San Joaquin Valley portion of Kern County and the city of Bakersfield. There are 6 power plants on the Kern River. 1 above Isabella, 1 right at the base of the main dam at Isabella, There was one just below there called the Burrell Power Plant. That power plant is no longer in production. We're coming on downriver to this power plant here on my left, the Southern California Edison plant. Then the Kern River plant, which takes off water right here and goes down. And then below the Kern River plant is the Ulysses power plant. That takes water off at the base of the canyon, flows water through an above ground facility, concrete facility that you see as you're driving along 178. So that is the bottom power plant on the Kern River.
So that's a basic look at some of the structures on the upper Kern River. But that's not even half the story for how the river works. Next, we'll look at the lower Kern River.